Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining today's webinar. This is John Curiotis with AmberLeaf Partners, and I'm going to be talking today about our SmartBanker solution and the ways that we go about approaching financial service industry, specifically around banking and retail banking components that organizations often face with today. By way of our agenda for this afternoon, we wanted to talk a little bit further about the firm and introduce folks who are less familiar with AmberLeaf as a company, as a consulting organization. Talk a little bit about the industry challenges and the things that we're seeing today in the marketplace and the clients and the prospects that we're in conversations with that they're wrestling on a day-to-day basis. We're going to escalate the dialogue then to how we go about addressing those challenges in the manner that we're able to build a customer experience solution and what the SmartBanker customer experience overview is intended to provide to support those solutions, and then following that up in a wrap-up. Those a little bit less familiar with AmberLeaf, we are a consulting organization. We are not a product company, so we do not make software. Rather, we implement our many of the vended software capabilities in the marketplace today. We split our business up into two main components, one around data, where we focus our clients in aggregating data from across many different sources in enterprise. We institute different data management and data governance policies and procedures to manage the quality and the hygiene of that data. And then we integrate that with many different applications inside an enterprise as well, specifically focusing on the way that an organization would manage its customer experience suite of product sets that they have today, which is the other tenet of our practice. Our customer experience capabilities focus on the way organizations market through marketing automation, the way that they sell through sales automation, and then on the way that they service through service automation within the contact centers that they support their customers or their members in a credit union scenario as well. About 20% of the work that we do is helping our clients build customer experience strategies as well. So we're helping them define how they want to go to market to better support the way that they market, sell, and service their customers, and building out the different roadmaps, ROI models, and overall go-to-market strategies. As it's pertaining to financial services, what we are recognizing in today's marketplace is organizations that are really focusing on two main areas, how they're taking the offense in the way that they go to market for sales and marketing efforts as well. They are looking to change the type of talent that they have, looking at the ways that they're able to understand the data, understand different correlations of the data that they have in the way that they want to be able to market, and how they're able to use that to develop the right types of campaigns. And as it evolves into the further on follow-up of those types of campaigns, organizations are moving away from pointed solutions. So a lot of times today, what we have is core providers in the marketplace that are providing transactional-based accounting, checking accounts, savings accounts type of applications that many of you are familiar with that add different modules on top of it, or they might have core pointed solutions that would pertain to managing a knowledge base or managing chat or sales automation solution. And what we're finding today is that organizations are looking for more of a platform-based solution, and that's what they're looking to make modernized investments into as they're considering the way that they're going to be able to go to market moving forward. The other area that we're focusing on and our clients are really driving toward is investing in analytical processes, and specifically around the way they manage their customer experience and those technologies that support that analytical processes. We're moving away from reacting toward different scenarios today to be more predictive and prescriptive in the way that the organizations want to be able to get in front of what customers are asking of them, and then what they should be doing by way they're responding to them, by the way that they sell, and certainly by the way that they're marketing to them as well. And that takes into consideration different investments around the analytical capabilities that they have in place today, and looking at moving away from more pointed reporting capabilities to more ways that they can take advantage of AI and the ways that organizations are really trying to be able to manage that cost as well. We're also seeing, though, that the challenges focus on several different key areas around the organization. And the key proponent here is around people and culture. Organizations that we're working with and speaking with are looking for teams of analytically minded people that have varying different skill sets, not just necessarily, again, how they're able to provide pointed coding capabilities and different pieces of technologies or marketing focuses or sales oriented as well. The culture is really where they're focusing on, and how that culture is able to support a disciplined and, more importantly, a data-driven decision-making environment. Those processes that the operating model of those people are looking to then support are also evolving. And the challenges that we're finding organizations facing is looking for a more robust, flexible data model in the way that they are able to understand the business end to end. Again, getting away from those core pointed solutions from a technical perspective, and how they're able to facilitate processes, the policies and procedures that can tightly integrate their complete customer experience as it spans across marketing, sales, as well as service. They can't do anything, though, without really core quality data. And the aspects that they're wrestling with in today's world is really the way they're able to normalize and cleanse that data, how that data is being organized and then used across those different multiple processes in the different parts of the operating model, and then how that propagates across the different source systems that they go deal with. And finally, what we're also recognizing is the technology aspect of it all, and the investments that they're looking to make around how they go about managing the lead process, how they manage the sales funnels through sales automation, how that feeds into the way it's learned from a marketing component and the campaign perspective through marketing automation, as also then ways that they're looking at building out data warehousing and analytical tools on top of that. All of those pieces of those components taken into consideration from the technology point of view to support that operating model on the people side, the culture, as well as the process and policies and procedures to support the relevant sets of data. What we've been working and educating our clients on is the way to go about building the right CX or customer experience solution. And that really focuses on how you discipline the customer experience to develop the right strategies and tactics that align your corporate goals and with those CX objectives. Oftentimes we find initiatives are kicked off in different areas of an organization and may not necessarily have the right linkages to the common goals that the organization is trying to achieve. Those strategies then are driven and defined by the governing processes and those policies and procedures that are being supported and enabled through the pieces of technology then that is able to support then those processes around it. What we find our clients really trying to do, and we're educating them to aspire to, is understanding how to track every customer interaction that they're dealing with. Whether that interaction is a face-to-face dialogue, it's through a conversation they may be having through a phone call, through the digital experience that they're having through buying, researching your products and the services that you're providing, those financial instruments that you're offering as well online, and through your mobile capabilities. Those interactions then allow us to be able to understand how to capture the relevant customer characteristics. What do we know about those customers? What do we want to know about those customers? And how that information is able to use to influence the way that we go about monitoring those behaviors of those customers in a different way. That kind of insight allows us to tighten the coordination that we have amongst the way that we sell, the way that we service, and how that coordination is then focused around the way that we're going to market to those customers as well. That allows us to be able to improve the efforts in the way that we are able to focus on target marketing efforts and campaigns to the different channels that we go after, effectively manage qualified leads as opposed to what might be filtering and clouding up our pipelines today, as well as then being able to proactively manage then that overall customer relationship. In doing so, we're able to positively impact that customer life cycle. What organizations are aspiring to do is really build what we refer to as that institutional memory, how to be able to understand what every aspect of the organization is doing to influence that customer's experience in a positive way that can focus on strengthening that company's brand, that will intentionally drive the additional revenue and increase your customer loyalty. So these principles that we've been focusing on building that CX solution and focusing on the right areas. Traditionally, what we found is that constructing the right operating model within an organization is crucial to this experiment. The customer experience is surrounded by that operating model, regardless if your intentions are such that you want to focus on the right areas of the customer and that customer and positive customer experience, but your actions that you do to support those intentions oftentimes flawed. That integrated customer experience model is focused around not only the operation, but the way that we go about researching and analyzing what it is that we want to gain insight into influencing that customer's experience, how that then is going to be driving the right level of promotions so we can position what we want to be able to offer in the marketplace today. As we understand and better define what those are, we're able to then influence the way to execute campaigns across all the different types of channels. And what that allows us to be able to do is tighten the way that we would go about our online advertising, our digital advertising, our digital campaigning, our marketing campaigning in terms of emails, as well as then the other areas to do follow-up from the demand generation from our sales teams as well. And what that does is allows us to really truly differentiate the way that we're able to service customers in a more positive manner. Different organizations deal with different teams, and the people side of it really is, we're finding, getting focused around the analytical side. What do we do with our data? Organizations are inundated with an enormous amount of data that they have, and they're struggling to be able to understand how can we positively influence that experience of that customer if we're not providing the right insights into the data and then using that and flexing the muscles of that data in a positive way as well. Different various positions and roles within an organization can have different costs depending on where we are within the country. And oftentimes we're working with our clients to be able to understand where these can be outsourced in a more cost-effective way, or where they need to reallocate investment in their resources to focus on the right areas within the organization. Those focus then around the different processes to building that positive CX solution and integrating marketing, sales, and service. Those research and analytics really drive us the way that we're able to understand those customer behaviors, how that information helps to influence the way we provide comprehensive research and analyzing the relevant models that we're going to be able to build about categorizing, cataloging, and then tracking what we're trying to understand from our customers. With that relevant research and the right research, as opposed to guessing or gut feeling, oftentimes we find a lot of financial institutions going after as well, influences the way that we promote our brand through various different channels that we go about it. That then is driving the way that we influence the marketing automation capabilities, where we're having defined campaign management solutions, identifying the right people for the right campaigns at the right time. The relevant offer that you have for one individual versus another individual can change, not on a monthly basis, not on a weekly basis, even on a daily basis, depending on what we're learning of them and how we want to promote that to them from the execution of the campaign perspective. But regardless of how we're campaigning, we need to be able to understand and drive the way that we follow through those campaign efforts through automations of sales as well. Understanding the customer profile, that prospect profile, understanding their needs and their analysis, capturing that relevant information, providing insights into walking through sales scripts as an example. Not everyone is built to be in sales, but we can capture the relevant information to be able to provide and influence the right people to get in touch with certain individuals as well. And then finally, the way that, again, we're going to service them. How is all this information that's driven down from the way that we research, the way that we promote, the way that we market, the way that we sell, and the way that we service our customers are going to be able to influence a positive customer experience as we continue to move forward in your customer experience journey. What we do is we recognize that there are various different channels that can need to be integrated across our efforts. Focusing on those channels can positively influence interactions across the branch, what we're doing online, through what we might be doing and promoting on the ATM, direct email and or email campaignings, as well as through the face-to-face interactions and the contact centers that we're dealing with as well. That branch experience translates into what we're doing in all those other digital avenues as well. That web experience needs to be influenced by our complete brand, not just what we're doing with inside our marketing campaigns. Our frontline staff also need to understand how that synergy across that entire customer experience is leveraged to build and execute those right campaigns, so they can follow up from a service component as well as what they're doing on a sales avenue in order to be able to manage the conversions of those marketing efforts that we're doing. Each of those data points then help us enable the transactions that we're able to focus on and how to convert that into more of a relationship-based model that oftentimes we fail at. In doing so, what we're doing in our CX solutions is focusing on the data from the bottom up. And what we're doing is assembling and correlating data from various different sources. The dirty data exists across an organization. Legacy data infrastructures oftentimes are left untouched, not necessarily managed and massaged in terms of the quality and cleanliness of that data. And organizations are really now demanding real-time access to that information that can be really driven to what we see on our mobile phones when we touch the site in different ways, and how to be able to effectively manage that customer interaction. What we're doing with our clients is helping assemble and correlate that data by helping them scrub that data, correlate that data, and normalize that data. They're struggling with areas that they are wrestling with. Do I have too much insight or too much data that I cannot necessarily gain the relevant insight that I'm looking for, or do I have too little data in order to make the relevant statistical significance in terms of the sample sizes to provide that the right level of customer experience, the right level of influencing the types of campaigns that I'm looking for as well. What we've done is help understand the simplification around the infrastructure. Oftentimes, many of the financial institutions and banks that we work with have their core providers, as I mentioned, but they may have different separate credit card applications. They could be using checking in different applications if the core is providing it, depending on what kind of core they're using. Their investment applications and data sources are different. So is the mortgage, brokerage, and insurance. We're trying to tie, and in the efforts of correlating all this data into a common customer master that can then be shared to manage the complete customer experience in the way that we market, sell, and service, and then accessing the relevant applications to manage our branches, to manage our internet applications, as well as what we're doing with inside the different components and avenues within the organization. Our SmartBanker Customer Experience Overview focuses on this complete area, and it really drives data into your strategy so you can take the relevant actions to manage that complete customer experience. What we provide in our offering and encourage our clients to do is an industry-level data model around banking. And we work with different partners of ours that have a robust set of canned industry models that we are able to build with inside your organization, drop inside your organization, integrate with many of the different core providers that you have today with canned managerial type of reports, campaigns that are relevant to specifically focus on marketing efforts specific to financial service organizations and the banks that we're dealing with. And then the integrations with many of the different providers such as Experian and Equifax. Our Experience Overview, it provides a consolidated platform all in one. So that platform includes the ways that we're able to market, the way that we're able to service and sell an organization. More importantly, though, the way that that digital experience is managed online through customer self-service, through knowledge content that we're providing and consuming both internally as well as externally and showing to support customers' needs and actions, and then unifying the way that we look at a particular customer regardless of what area of the organization that they're in. That could be within the branch, it could be within back office operations, it could be within that contact center, it could be your RIAs. All of them look to be able to sing off the same page. Therefore, we're able to provide that unified desktop. What that allows us to be able to do then is focus and build out that industry level data model, where that industry data model is integrated from the transaction up. So we're looking at it from what types of transactions are we having through our ATMs, through our checking accounts, our credit cards, our investment accounts, et cetera, and then how flexible that model is so we can gain the relevant insight to allow for dynamic changing of the way that we're able to manage the business, whether that's the organizational hierarchy, kinds of services or products that we're offering to our customer base, and then even the changes that the operating model needs to support. What this does is allows us to gain, again, that flexibility around the integrated process enablement and the way that we research, analyze, promote, market, sell to our customers, and then more importantly, what we're learning from our service interactions and how what we're learning from those service interactions influence then the way that we're able to promote, the way that we're able to market, again, in the way that we're able to sell to our customer base. What we're able to accomplish here then is our marketing automation capabilities integrated into one common platform. So what you should be looking for is a way to be able to understand how to build relevant campaign workflow. Those workflows are easily driven through graphical user interfaces. Oftentimes we find credit unions, or oftentimes we're finding banks of different shapes and sizes using less than sophisticated marketing capabilities. They're managing their lists through Excel. They're managing their templates through WordPress. They're not necessarily integrating the capabilities to manage the proper campaign flow. What a SmartBanker solution offers for you is a defined set of collateral, so we can build out templates already provided for you that can be emailed out or used to be able to influence the way that you want to be able to email out. When we're defining that campaign flow, it's important that we understand where to focus and what lists that we need to be taken into consideration. And so those lists in consideration then are going to be able to identify and constantly update in real time who's opting in, who's opting out, what have they seen, what have they liked, what have they not liked across all the different types of channels. All those different touch points, or all those different impressions, or those interesting moments that you're capturing, that those customers are capturing across the different types of devices that they're working on, the viewing the marketing collateral that you're sending, influences how we want to be able to manage our list of and who to want to market to and when we want to be able to market to them. Your marketing automation application should be able to provide detailed insight offer analysis as well. So as we learn from that information, as we learn from those customer insights that we're gaining from, we need to be able to gain deep level of analysis of what's working and what's not working, so we can change on the real time. When marketing automation qualifies and helps us be able to build out better aspects of our pipeline, we're able to then influence the way that customer profile and the information we need to capture are related to that specific customer profile. In this case, we want to understand who those customers are, who that member is, where they're doing business, what kind of assets do they have. All of the information that we want to know about a customer can be prompted to our sales teams, to our service personnel, to our branch personnel, that we can capture relevant information and continue to build out and perform the right levels of the needs analysis based on the type of account that they have. When and where needed, again, what we do is walk through different aspects of scripts. Not everyone is qualified to provide information and insight on specific financial service instruments or products that you're offering, but we can capture the relevant information through guided assistance and guided scripts that will move an employee along the process to get that person, that potential prospect or customer, to the right level of individuals after we've qualified them even further. We can even provide then additional information around cross-selling. If they already have one account with the organization, what other opportunities do we have? Oftentimes what we're seeing credit unions and community banks and banks in general facing is their MCIF solutions providing them the next best cross-sell product that may be relevant to that, may be relevant to the bank itself, but not necessarily relevant to that specific customer. And that's really where we're trying to own in and identify through the insights and the analytics that these solutions provide to be able to give the right offer to the right customer, to the right prospect at the right time. More importantly, where we find our clients falling short, that SmartBanker solution is the follow-up of them. Again, leveraging the data. If we're sending out those communications, if we're tracking relevant customer details, we're leveraging and flexing that muscles of the data so we can have relevant customer follow-up. That data is able to then run through triggers and an engine that is able to reach back out to customers at a specific point in time based off of the activity or inactivity. So what we try to do is get away from the Excel sheets getting cut, sent out to the branches, having phone calls being made on certain times of a night during a week, where we can then really focus on more value-added level of activities by allowing the systems to be able to provide that level of detail. In analyzing that customer profile, we continue to capture that relevant detail, that relevant data associated with that. And as we're able to build and add more information into it, the smarter we are to be able to manage our banking operations. And that's across different types of channels. Those channels include phone, but those channels include email, chat, other aspects of web self-service that we all capture relevant details on. The advertising that we're providing online, the advertising that we're providing through our mobile devices as well. All that detail gets us captured and identify relevant customer information that we can use that oftentimes is being missed today. And those issues that we're dealing with, and as we capture them, are also logged within a SmartBanker solution. So it's not just what we're doing on a sales and service component or within the branch, but as we're talking to the contact center, regardless if they're emailing us, chatting with us, or taking a phone call as a whole, what we're cataloging, capturing, and tracking of customer requests of us can influence the way that we may market to them in the future, and influence the way that we may be able to provide additional sales support to them tomorrow, as opposed to what we might have learned from them today. Overall, SmartBanker CX solution really helps us drive tangible benefits that should be expected by most organizations. And those examples include an increase in revenue per customer. What we're trying to do is increase the product penetration by improving the ability to directly sell, cross-sell, and upsell. that helps us increase deposit and loan balances, as well as then the organizations that are focused on fee income per customer and how we're able to manage that in a proper way. More importantly, it's helping us improve that customer acquisition and its retention. By capturing the important relationship information about a particular customer, we're able to improve service of that customer. We're able to effectively, again, target the prospective customer with very pointed opportunities, and very pointed messaging that's relevant to them, and then integrate offline and online delivery channels so we can learn from what those customers are doing and the way that they're behaving, regardless of the time and day that they're looking to be able to interact and engage with us. And then finally, what we're able to do is improve those process efficiencies to lower costs. Integrate core systems is critical. Leveraging a holistic and view of that customer information, and then re-engineering the processes to be able to streamline these relevant activities. Oftentimes, again, today, what we're finding our customers dealing with is very segmented departmental-based decisions. Those decisions are very siloed in terms of the processes and procedures and the policies that they govern. Again, all of them have intention to be able to support a customer or a member in a relevant manner. However, they're falling short being able to tie all the operational efficiencies around the customer's point of view, though that intention is there, by missing out on the operational internal departmental goals and objectives that they have. So that SmartBanker solution that we're offering helps really drive increasing revenues, lowering our costs, and then attracting and retaining relevant customers. I want to thank everyone today for your time. We're going to provide a recording of this and a follow-up with everybody for additional. I appreciate today more in the marketplace today as it relates to banks, credit unions, and the financial service industry in general, and how our SmartBanker solution provides capabilities to be able to support that. Thank you.